see everybody. So first of all, I'm going to do some reviewing, just so we're all on the same page and everybody is with me. Last week we had a art quiz that was due, 2 discussions, and then a unit. You guys had all week to complete all that work, and it was due Sunday evening. I have about 50% turn-in rate, less than 50% in first hour actually, but overall between first and second hour about 50%. My hope is we can up that because we're starting a new unit this week, and so I don't want things to be piling up. And I do go in and put in the missings like when the due dates are, because I want to make sure y'all have an accurate like standing of your grade. I'm very flexible if you have questions, if you need extra time. I totally understand that. It's not a big deal. I just need you to communicate with me. If you're confused about something, please communicate with me. I feel like I'm pretty chill and pretty easy to approach. Some of you don't know me well enough to know that, but I'm very like open. Like I also understand like we have a screen between us, so there already is a disconnect with how to do stuff, if that makes sense. Like it's a very different world of learning. We also all learn differently. And so I have no problem helping you. I am available to meet with people separately if that's something that you are interested in, or if you're like, I just need a little bit more explanation, but I don't want to ask questions on Google Meet. Not a problem, okay? Just send me a message and we can totally meet later on in the day. Like in the afternoon real quick. I usually don't take much time. You can share your screen. So please, guys, please make sure you're communicating if you need anything. I'd rather jump on it quicker than later so you don't feel overwhelmed. So we're going to start new this week. And before we do that, does anyone need anything from last week? I did send out that message this morning because a lot of people were not turning their work in correctly. They were missing key components to their final project, or they didn't turn in the rubric. They only turned in one thing, or they turned in the wrong stuff. So I just really want to make sure that hopefully I answered the questions. I did attach the rubric to that message in Schoology for easy access. It is also attached in Wednesday's folder in week 1 to the assignment. So that is where you can find it, or else it was attached to that message. So hopefully that makes it easy for you. Again, that was due Sunday. I will be putting in those missings today. I've caught up on all the grades as of 8:30 this morning, but I'm constantly checking the grade book, just so you know. So I'm always looking for missing work to get turned in. I'm trying to stay on top of that. Today, we are moving into our new unit, which is going to be our final, it's going to be our sketchbook cover. So the very cover of your sketchbook. But we are going to work our way to that. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we are working in our sketchbook on paper still, okay? Also, a few reminders, the attendance is starting to slack and people are not completing that. So please make sure you're completing that attendance. You can find today's instructions, so we're Monday, week 2, and we are working with Sharpies today, like Sharpie skills. Sharpies is something I love to work with, and it's actually really amazing what you can do with Sharpies. So you're going to have 2 sketches today, kind of like last week with the colored pencil. Today you're going to have a Sharpie technique page, so it's 1 page in your sketchbook. Now Sharpies bleed through, so make sure that you either A, take out your paper and put it on the table, but put something behind it so you do not bleed through on a table. You have that bleed paper, or you should, that was in the pocket of your folder. It was either white or blue. You're going to want to use that behind your paper so it doesn't bleed through and ruin the next page. So you're going to have 2 pages. Your first page is going to be techniques, and then your second page is going to be you putting it into action and showing me a drawing. Now, how that's going to work today, as you can see here, 2 pages in your sketchbook, okay? Now the first page is, you can see these 2 examples from trimesters this year. There are some videos you're going to watch, and you're going to learn how to shade with Sharpies and add different drawing techniques with Sharpies. That's page 1. So you can see here it's kind of like some random drawings. Page 2, I have a bunch of videos in here to show you different styles of shading with Sharpie, different how-to drawings. These are all student examples, these 3 pages, of students putting Sharpie into action. So you can see the requirements are a little different. So this page here, you're doing the techniques. The second page you're putting into action, and I'm looking for that craftsmanship. I'm looking for that full page design. I have a next page of examples. Here are some more. This one right here is the student doing the techniques. The rest of these are in action. Like, look at this one. Like, I was blown away. Like, some of these in actions are just unbelievably beautiful. Like, look at that. It's all done with Sharpie. Okay, so that's your second page. Now, you have 3 videos. They're quick. You also can fast forward them. Everybody's different when they learn how to do something. Some of you literally could go to the end of it and see the end product and create that without watching. Some of you can speed it up and see what the artist is doing. But there are like, it's going to show you how to do these techniques. And it's pretty cool to see, like, just different layering processes and the way that you add different drawing techniques with Sharpies, how it takes it away from just like a plain coloring book. So there's one video on slide 5. This is slide 6. It's blending with your marker. Now, when you're blending, for this particular one, you're going to want to choose 3 colors from the same color family. Okay, so most people did green. You don't have to. But sometimes it's easier just to follow along so you understand. And then in your putting it into action drawing, you can do whatever colors you want. And then slide 7 is another blending with Sharpies, and it's doing letters. Now, once you're done with those, you are going to go onto a new sheet of paper. And remember, these bleed through, so make sure you have your bleed paper behind it, or you take it out and put newspaper behind it on the table, whatever works best for you. And I have multiple videos. You do not have to do these videos either. Okay, like maybe you have an idea in your head, like some of the ones I showed you, like the flowers, or maybe you'll take some of these videos and completely change it. I did have quite a few students do this crazy monster, and it's really fun to see. This particular graffiti artist draws on anything they have available, so you can see they have a priority label here, and they just drew straight on that, which is pretty cool. But you could change the colors, but notice that it has a lot of the shading techniques in it. This next video is pretty cool. It has lots of different doodle tips and expressions. And you can see some of these characters here are one of my students used in one of the examples. So you could just draw some of the characters. Maybe you have favorite characters already and you want to take these skills and draw that. Totally fine. This one is about a crazy Converse tennis shoe and adding, like, characters and symbols and things to the shoe. Could do that. Change up the colors, change up the characters, or you could do exactly as you see, because sometimes mimicking or copying, that is our best way to learn. Okay, if you put this out on the internet and say that you came up with that on your own, that's copyright. If you're creating artwork based on someone else's to learn and you're not publishing it, that is legal. That's okay. All right, just so everybody understands, if you're like, wait a minute, I'm copying someone's work, that's copyright. If you're not putting it out into the world saying that, like, I created SpongeBob, no, you didn't. Then it's not copyright, if that makes sense. Here's another one. This is, the example, somebody did this one. I have multiples in here. Here's another one with the deer. I had somebody who did this and then took it in her own direction. I had that student, I don't know if you remember seeing it, I'll go back to it, but I had that student during the holiday season, and she kind of did everything winter and Christmas themed in her work, which was totally cool. Is this the eye? Yep, this is the eye one. A lot of people enjoyed the eye one. And again, you can change the colors and do it however you want. And what else do I have in here? Oh, this one's kind of cool. It's just kind of more like pixelated. And I think that's my last one. You could go online, like on your own, and find examples. It's completely up to you. But our goal is to have one page of techniques, and then the other page is you showing me, I learned these techniques and I can actually create a work of art using them. Because you need this week for your cover project. So we're getting started on building our skill and technique for our final project. So that is your assignment for today. So again, you have 2 sketches. And again, I'm looking for that full credit for full craftsmanship, putting it into action, showing me you learned it. Last week's work was due, but again, you can turn it in. Here's that deer one. They turned it into like a winter scene. You can turn it in at any time this week and just let me know. I also am constantly checking the grade book. And I am here if you have any questions. This information is in today's folder and it's in step 2. So after you take attendance, you need to come in here and then this is where you will find all the information. Does anyone have questions about what is due today or what you should be working on? So today is our Sharpie day.